Welcome back. Today we are diving into the latest earnings from a major player in India's defense sector, Bharat Electronics Limited or BEL. This is a Navratna Defense PSU, so always an interesting one to watch.
Absolutely. BEL is a key government enterprise under the Ministry of Defense. They are involved in a wide array of defense electronics. The company also has subsidiaries like BEL Thales Systems Limited and BEL Optronic Devices Limited and associates including GEBE Private Limited and BEL IAI Aerosystems Private Limited.
Right, so they've released their audited standalone and consolidated financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. These results were approved by their board of directors in a meeting held on May 19, 2025. Let's get straight into the numbers. How did BEL perform on the revenue front in Q4?
Starting with the standalone results for Q4 FY25, revenue from operations came in at 9,119.71 crore rupees. Year over year, that's a decent growth of about 6.93% from the 8,528.54 crore rupees they reported in Q4 of FY24. Quarter over quarter, the growth is even more significant, up by a substantial 58.44% compared to 5,756.12 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. That strong sequential growth often happens as companies push to close deals and dispatches at the year end.
That's a strong Q4 finish. What about the consolidated revenue for Q4?
On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, revenue from operations was slightly higher at 9,149.59 crore rupees. Year over year, this is up by 6.84% from 8,564.08 crore rupees in Q4 of the previous year. Quarter over quarter, consolidated revenue also saw a big jump of 58.55% from 5,770.69 crore rupees in Q3. So a very similar strong performance trend on the consolidated side for the quarter.
And how does this translate to the full year revenue picture for FY25?
For the full financial year FY25, standalone revenue stood at 23,658.01 crore rupees, marking a solid 17.30% increase year over year from 20,169.39 crore rupees in FY24. Consolidated revenue for FY25 was 23,768.75 crore rupees, up 17.27% year over year from 20,268.24 crore rupees. It's interesting to note that their press release mentioned a turnover of 23,024.10 crore rupees for FY25, registering a 16.17% growth. The audited figures we're discussing are slightly higher, which is good.
Good growth on the top line. Now let's talk profitability. The report doesn't explicitly state EBITDA, but what can we infer about their operational profitability, perhaps using profit before tax or PBT as a proxy? How did PBT look for Q4?
You're right, EBITDA isn't directly provided. We'll use PBT, which gives us a good view of earnings before tax. For standalone Q4 FY25, PBT was 2,847.62 crore rupees. Year over year, this is a strong increase of 19.37% from 2,385.61 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, PBT surged by 62.33% from 1,754.15 crore rupees in Q3.
And for the consolidated PBT in Q4, remember to factor in the share of profit from associates.
Good point. For consolidated Q4 FY25 PBT, after accounting for a share of profit from associates of 6.01 crore rupees, stands at 2,873.27 crore rupees. Year over year, this is up 19.67% from 2,401.08 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, it's a jump of 63.82% from 1,753.95 crore rupees in Q3.
That's robust profit growth for the quarter. How did the PBT shape up for the full year FY25?
For the full year FY25, standalone PBT was 7,089.99 crore rupees, a very healthy 32.91% increase year over year from 5,334.56 crore rupees. This PBT figure from the standalone results actually matches the one highlighted in their press release. Consolidated PBT, after share of profit from associates, for FY25 reached 7,134.53 crore rupees, up 34.40% year over year from 5,308.34 crore rupees.
Excellent. Moving down to the bottom line. What about profit after tax or PAT? How did that fare in Q4?
For standalone Q4 FY25, PAT was 2,104.78 crore rupees. Year over year, that's an increase of 17.99% from 1,783.52 crore rupees. Quarter over quarter, PAT grew by 59.93% from 1,316.06 crore rupees.
And consolidated PAT for Q4?
On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, PAT came in at 2,127.02 crore rupees. Year over year, this is up 18.39% from 1,796.67 crore rupees. Quarter over quarter, it grew by 62.19% from 1,311.60 crore rupees.
And the full year PAT for FY25?
For the full year FY25, standalone PAT stood at 5,288.25 crore rupees, marking a significant 31.55% increase year over year from 4,020.00 crore rupees. Again, this matches the PAT figure in their press release. Consolidated PAT for FY25 was 5,322.68 crore rupees, up an impressive 33.56% year over year from 3,985.24 crore rupees.
That's strong profit growth across the board. What about earnings per share or EPS for the quarter?
For Q4 FY25, the standalone basic EPS was 2.87 rupees. Year over year, this is up from 2.44 rupees. Quarter over quarter, it increased from 1.81 rupees. On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, basic EPS was 2.91 rupees. Year over year, up from 2.46 rupees. Quarter over quarter, up from 1.79 rupees.
And for the full year, FY25 EPS?
For the full year FY25, standalone basic EPS was 7.23 rupees compared to 5.50 rupees in FY24. Consolidated basic EPS was 7.28 rupees, up from 5.45 rupees in FY24.
Any significant other income we should be aware of?
Yes, other income is a component. For standalone Q4 FY25, it was 194.18 crore rupees, down from 220.52 crore rupees YoY, and also down from 205.08 crore rupees QoQ. For the full year, standalone other income was 767.59 crore rupees, slightly up from 755.84 crore rupees in FY24. For consolidated Q4 FY25, other income was 194.64 crore rupees, down from 225.43 crore rupees YoY, but up from 186.38 crore rupees QoQ. For the full year, consolidated other income was 742.36 crore rupees, up from 670.14 crore rupees in FY24. While not a massive driver compared to operating revenue, it does contribute to the overall income.
So looking at these numbers, Q4 was clearly a strong quarter both year over year and sequentially, and the full year performance also reflects healthy growth. Any thoughts on profitability margins?
Let's look at net profit margins using PAT over revenue from operations. For standalone FY25, the net profit margin is about 22.35%, 5,288.25 crore PAT divided by 23,658.01 crore revenue. This is an improvement from about 19.93% in FY24. For consolidated FY25, the net profit margin is around 22.39%. 5,322.68 crore PAT divided by 23,768.75 crore revenue, up from about 19.66% in FY24. So we're seeing an expansion in net margins for the full year, which is a positive sign of efficiency.
Were there any exceptional items reported in these results?
No, the financials for both standalone and consolidated results show no exceptional items for the quarter or the year. This generally means the profits we're seeing are from regular operations, giving us a cleaner picture.
Let's shift to the balance sheet. Any key highlights from the standalone statement of assets and liabilities as of March 31st, 2025?
On the standalone balance sheet as of March 31st, 2025, total assets stood at 40,418.08 crore rupees, up from 39,155.65 crore rupees a year ago. Equity has increased significantly to 19,697.68 crore rupees from 16,082.39 crore rupees. Non-current liabilities decreased to 1,021.89 crore rupees from 1,083.18 crore rupees. Current liabilities also saw a reduction to 19,698.51 crore rupees from 21,990.08 crore rupees. The balance sheet appears robust with a stronger equity base and reduced current liabilities.
And on the consolidated balance sheet?
The consolidated balance sheet shows similar trends. Total assets grew to 40,831.86 crore rupees from 39,526.68 crore rupees. Total equity attributable to owners of the company increased to 19,973.89 crore rupees from 16,326.47 crore rupees. Total equity including non-controlling interest is 19,992.83 crore rupees. Non-current liabilities are down to 1,086.49 crore rupees from 1,155.56 crore rupees. Current liabilities decreased to 19,752.54 crore rupees from 22,026.73 crore rupees. So a strengthening financial position is visible on the consolidated front as well.
What about cash flows? Any major takeaways from the cash flow statements? And did the company mention anything about dividends?
Yes. On the dividend front, the company had paid an interim dividend of 1.50 rupees per equity share for FY 24-25 back in March 2025. And very importantly, the board has now recommended a final dividend of 0.90 rupees per equity share, which is 90% of the face value of 1 rupee for the financial year 24-25. This final dividend is of course subject to shareholder approval at the next annual general meeting. Now, looking at the standalone cash flow for FY25, net cash from operating activities saw a significant drop to 480.41 crore rupees from 4,648.01 crore rupees in FY24. This is primarily due to increases in trade receivables and inventories, which are uses of working capital. Net cash from investing activities swung to a positive 74.841 crore rupees from a negative 5,888.85 crore rupees last year. This large swing is mainly because of a net inflow from term deposits and other bank balances this year, compared to a large outflow into them last year. Net cash from financing activities showed a higher outflow of 1,696.14 crore rupees, mainly due to dividend payments. Overall, cash and cash equivalents at the end of FY25 stood at 681.68 crore rupees, down from 1,149 crore rupees at the end of FY24.
And the consolidated cash flow?
The consolidated cash flow for FY25 mirrors the standalone trends. Net cash from operating activities was 586.62 crore rupees, down from 4,659.49 crore rupees in FY24, again due to working capital changes. Net cash from investing activities was positive at 616.94 crore rupees, a big swing from a negative 5,923.85 crore rupees last year, driven by similar movements in investments and deposits. Net cash from financing activities saw an outflow of 1,696.43 crore rupees. Consolidated cash and cash equivalents at year-end were 713.45 crore rupees, down from 1,206.32 crore rupees. So while profits are up, the operating cash flow for the year has been impacted by working capital deployment, which isn't uncommon for a growing company executing a large order book.
Speaking of different parts of the business, what does the report say about segment performance?
That's an interesting point. Note 6 in the financial results states that the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, through a notification dated June 5, 2015, has exempted companies engaged in defense production from the requirement of segment reporting. So BEL, being a defense PSU, has not provided segment-wise revenue, profit or asset details.
Okay, that's an important clarification. So we have to look at the company's performance on an aggregate basis. How would you summarize their overall performance in FY25, considering the press release also highlighted some achievements?
Overall, FY25 has been a strong year for BEL. As per their press release and confirmed by the audited standalone financials, they achieved a profit before tax of nearly 7,090 crore rupees, a growth of about 32.91%, and a profit after tax of over 5,288 crore rupees, up by 31.55%. The turnover growth was also robust. The company's order book position as of April 1, 2025 stood strong at 71,650 crore rupees, which provides good revenue visibility for the coming years.
Now, a very critical part of any financial report is the auditor's review. What did the statutory auditors, Rao and Imar, have to say in their report for both standalone and consolidated financials?
For both the standalone and consolidated financials, the auditors Rao and Imar have issued an unmodified opinion. This means they believe the financial statements give a true and fair view in conformity with the accounting principles generally accepted in India. The CFO's declaration also confirms these unmodified opinions. However, they have included certain other matters which don't modify their opinion but are important for shareholders to note. For the standalone audit report, firstly, the financials of 6 of BEL's branches were audited by respective branch auditors appointed by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, C&AG, and Rao and Imar's opinion on these is based solely on those reports. These branches represent significant assets and revenue. Secondly, and this is a governance point, the composition of BEL's board of directors is not in line with SEBI's listing regulations, effective August 10, 2024, and the Companies Act, effective December 28, 2024. This is due to the non-appointment of the requisite number of independent directors by the Ministry of Defence. There are currently 9 vacancies for independent directors, including 1 independent woman director. The matter is under consideration by the ministry. And thirdly, the Q4 figures are derived, balancing figures between full year audited and 9 months published figures.
And any specific other matters in the consolidated audit report?
Yes, the consolidated audit report also highlights a few points. The financial statements of 2 subsidiaries were audited by other auditors, and the consolidated opinion relies on their reports. The financials of 2 associate companies, BELIAI Aerosystems Private Limited and GEBE Private Limited, which are consolidated using the equity method, are based on unaudited financial statements drawn by management. However, these have been assessed by the auditors as not material to the group. The point about the audit of 6 branches of the holding company by other auditors is reiterated. It's noted that investments in certain Section 8 not-for-profit companies like the Defence Innovation Organization and various defense testing foundations have not been considered for consolidation as BEL does not exercise control over them beyond its equity investment. The same issue regarding the board composition of the holding company is mentioned. And again, the Q4 figures are derived. Crucially, the auditors state their opinion is not modified in respect of any of these other matters.
Are there any other significant notes from the management or events we should be aware of?
A few more points from the notes. Note 7 explains the consolidation principles for subsidiaries, line by line, and associates, equity method. Note 8 mentions that the company has analyzed existing contracts with companies based in Israel in view of the ongoing conflicts, and in their opinion, there is no material financial impact as at the date of the results. Note 11 confirms that the fourth quarter figures are balancing figures. And Note 13 states that the audited results for the year ended March 31, 2025 are subject to supplementary audit by the C&AG of India.
So considering all this, the strong financial performance, the healthy order book, but also the auditor's comments on board composition, what's the overall outlook and potential risks for BEL?
The outlook for BEL appears positive, largely driven by its strong order book and its strategic importance in India's defense sector. The government's focus on Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India in defense manufacturing should continue to provide tailwinds. The consistent growth in profits and improving margins are encouraging. However, potential risks include the non-compliance with board composition norms is a governance concern that needs to be addressed by the Ministry of Defence. While it doesn't impact the financials directly, it's a regulatory requirement. Dependence on government defense contracts, though BEL is diversifying into civilian areas. Execution risks associated with large and complex projects. The significant drop in operating cash flow in FY25, if it persists, could be a concern, though it seems linked to working capital for growth. As always, investors should do their own due diligence. This discussion is for informational purposes only and not investment advice.
Excellent. So to wrap it up, BEL has delivered a strong financial performance in FY25, with robust growth in revenue and profitability for both the fourth quarter and the full year. The dividend recommendation is also a positive for shareholders. The order book remains healthy, providing good visibility. Key monitorables would be the resolution of the board composition issue and improvement in operating cash flows.
Precisely. The company is performing well operationally. The auditor's other matters, particularly the board composition, are points of attention from a governance perspective rather than an immediate financial alarm, given the unmodified opinion.
Great analysis. Thank you for breaking that down for us. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for more insights into the financial markets. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.